All right, so we are going to review some more overriding equations and look at more with our word problems. All right, so remember these will be in the form of y equals mx plus b. Okay, so we'll start off with our table. So remember we find our change in our x's. So these are adding by 2. Our y's we are adding by 6. So we take our y over x, so 6 over 2, which is 3. And then we have y equals 3x. And so when we look at when x is 0, the y value goes at the end. So that's going to be minus 4. Okay, so let's look at the real life situation. Martha went to the store for art supplies. She purchased a canvas for $24 and some tempera paints. The tempera paints were $2.50 each, and Martha spent a total of $54. Write an equation that shows how to find the number of tempera paints that Martha purchased. Okay, since there's 3 numbers, there's not going to be a y equals, but it's going to be a number. So we'll start off with total. So that's going to be our y, which is 54. Then we'll look for the number that goes next to x. So I look at the question. So how do we find the number of tempera paints? So the number that represents paints is 250. And it also says each. So we're going to have 250x. And then she also bought a canvas. And so that means we're going to add them. So it's going to be plus 24. So that is our equation. Okay, so for our graph, we start off with y equals. So we find where it crosses at the y. So we're going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be plus 4. Then we'll find where it crosses on our graph. Okay, then we find our rise and our run. So we go up 1 over 2. So we write that as 1 over 2x. We went to the left, so it's going to be negative. Okay, and then for our other table, so again, we'll find our change in our x's. So that's adding 2. Our y's, we're adding 1. So we'll write that as 1 over 2, so y over x. So we get 1/2 x. Then we'll pick an x value since there's not 0. So let's pick 8. So half of 8 is 4. And then how do I get from 4 to 9? Plus 5. So I get y equals 1/2 x plus 5. Okay, so we're going to look at some more on the back. So we'll start with our table. So we'll find our pattern, our x's, so that's adding 1. Find our pattern in our y's, so that's adding 2. We're going to write that as 2 over 1, y over x, which is 2. We get y equals 2x. Since x is not 0, we're going to pick, or there's not a 0 for x, we're going to pick an x value. So I'm just going to do 6. So we'll do 2 times 6, which is 12. And then how do I get from 12 to 8? Minus 4. Okay, our word problem. Stuart is taking piano lessons for the next 4 months. His lessons, he has to pay an administration fee of $150 plus $35 a lesson. He ended up paying $570 at the end of 4 months. Write an equation that will show how to find how many lessons Stuart took during the 4-month period. Okay, so again, these aren't going to have a y equals. It's going to have a total or number. So our total is 570. Then we look for x. If you go back and read the question, it says how many lessons. And so our lessons represents 35. So it's going to be 35x. And then it says plus 150. So we get 570 equals 35x plus 150. All right, for our graph, so we start with y equals. So we find where it crosses on our y-intercept, which is -1. We need to find our rise and our run. So find where it crosses. So we're going to go up 2 over 3. Let's write that as 2 over 3x. We went to the right, so it stays positive 2 over 3x. Okay, and then for our table, we find our pattern in our x's, which is plus 3, our pattern in our y. So this one we do a little bit of math on. So 65 minus 29 is 36. Then we'll take our y over x, so 36 over 3, which equals 12. So we get 12x. And then since we have an x that's 0, the number at the end is negative 7. So we get y equals 12x minus 7. Okay, so your homework is going to be more of these type of problems again. So if you need help again, just go back and watch this video.